What's up, party people? It's Waukesha. I'm back. My demo EP is finally out. Link is in the description to that. That's what you're hearing right now. It's out on Spotify, SoundCloud, and Apple Music. So please go check that out. Let me know what you think. So there's gonna be a small shift in content going forward. Instead of making like beat videos, where I'm just making a beat in the video, I kind of want to switch to more album reviews, or something like what this video is going to be, where I just put you on to some obscure albums or deep cuts from popular albums, and also full in-depth reviews. Alright, so first on the list is this album Trophy Kids by a really small band from Chicago called Engine Summer. I actually have this one on vinyl, and it was a really cool record. It's like this clear blue kind of. The version that's on Spotify is a different version, a different recording from the vinyl. So if you really like it, I would recommend buying the vinyl, because I think that's like a live version instead of a studio version, or maybe they just re-recorded it again. The vocals are very punk, but the instrumentals are more rock. There's some great bass lines. There's lots of like tremolo on the guitar. Really cool band. I would go check them out. Highly recommend. And if you like it, support them, because they're really small. Next on the list is very weird. It's this album, A Short Trip to Space by John Tropea, I think. It's a weird space funk album. The title track is really good. It's one of my favorites. Very ambient, synthy, funk guitar kind of. The name of the album is very fitting. You're like, it's a very short trip to space, and then you come back. It's really cool. It's a cool concept. John Tropea, I mean, he had decent popularity, I guess, but he kind of slipped through the cracks of popularity and kind of fell into obscurity. But there's a lot of talent there. His self-titled album is good too. I'll go check him out if you're into that kind of stuff. Next is Heavy Mental by Killah Priest. Killah Priest is one of the most slept on like Wu affiliates. It's one of the best Wu-Tang solo projects in my opinion. It's over RZA beats or RZA-esque beats from similar producers at the time. And he's rapping about like biblical references and like the pineal gland and stuff. It's crazy stuff that he's talking about over these really beautiful beats. And in Liquid Swords by GZA, the outro track is called Bible, and that is actually on this album, and it's an original Killah Priest song. GZA's not even on that song, but he used it as his outro. Fun fact. So if you like that song, go check it out. Next, a little bit different. It's called Mother Earth's Plantasia by Mort Garson, I think. It's interesting. It's very different. It's synth music inspired by plants. This guy was a huge plant fanatic, and he made music inspired by his plants. And you could tell he really loved them, because there's a bunch of odes to different kinds of plants on this album. But it's beautiful, really nice, warm synth tones. I'm pretty sure it's like the original Moog that he's using, just from the time frame and the sounds. It's great for like ambient music if you just want to put it on in the background and chill out. Great for falling asleep too, or like it's like it suggests on the album cover, it's music for plants and people who love them. So if you have a bunch of plants, you want to play them some music, this is the album for you. Alright, this one is one of my favorite albums ever. Celestial Love by the Sun Ra. The thing that makes this album my favorite out of all Sun Ra's discography, which he has a lot of albums, and I love all of them, but the singing on this one in particular is on point. Sometimes I'm Happy, beautiful. It's super catchy. The singing is just so good. It fits the beat so well. And it's some of his more contemporary jazz, although nothing he does is really contemporary. But It's not super crazy, so it complements the vocals. Really nice chord progressions with lots of, Sun Ra-esque dissonance. And there's lots of electric pianos and synths on here too, like in the intro track and one of the later tracks, I don't remember the name. And while we're on the Sun Ra, a deep cut of an album in the first place is Other Planes of There by the Sun Ra. There's a song called Spiral Galaxy on it. It's very long, but it's really great one. But yeah, the Sun Ra just in general makes incredible music. Made incredible music. I don't think he got enough credit for it. Maybe because he dressed up crazy and wore headdresses and stuff. So nobody really took him that serious. But he's a serious player. He's incredible stuff. He just has this certain like style. You can hear it in the chord progressions. It's very distinct. It's cool. And always the sax playing. I don't know if it's him or somebody in his I think he calls it orchestra, but the sax playing is always on point. It's very chromatic and expressive sax playing. Really cool. Always complements the tracks very well. Alright, moving on is the song that was made, I'm pretty sure it was made special for GTA 5, called Fetti. Not the album Fetti by Currensy and Freddie Gibbs, produced by Alchemist, but the song. One of the smoothest Alchemist beats. One of the smoothest beats in general that I've ever heard. Really cool synths on there. The toms in the drums are insane. Really deep, bassy drums. And then, of course, you have Currensy and Freddie Gibbs, who absolutely just murdered the track. Great performance by both of them. They really punch in, and when they go back and forth, it's incredible. Currency's great. He's one of my favorite rappers, but Freddie Gibbs, I don't even have to say anything about the stuff he's done with Madlib. And Alchemist, one of the most well-respected. Moving on, going to Africa for this one. It's a Nigerian Afro-rock album called Dancing Time by the Funkees. And it's kind of like a mix between Afrobeat and African rock, which you can kind of tell by the name. But the Funkees, which you can also tell by the name, have a very immediate funk influence and also kind of jazzy influence too, in a way. And that over the Afrobeat kind of really cool rhythms on the drums. The percussion is absolutely insane on the album. It just all blends together so well. And there's a lot of psychedelic qualities to the music as well. In the guitar playing and the keyboard playing, the kind of organs that they use. Really cool stuff. And a lot of time they'll like stack all of their vocals at the same time, and they'll be like a little bit like off from each other, so you can kind of hear where they overlap. You should check out the entire album, but Slipping Into Darkness and Breakthrough are my favorite tracks on the album. Beautiful. And Slipping Into Darkness in particular. I actually named a song after a line from that. It says, she loved to drink the whiskey while laughing at the moon. And just laughing at the moon sounds so cool to me. I made that the name of one of my songs on the album. Alright, next album is Virgo Red by Roy Ayers. Roy Ayers is a vibraphone player. You probably know him from the song Everybody Loves the Sunshine. I think it was in Straight Outta Compton. And it's just a popular kind of soul song. This album's kind of like soul jazz with, I feel like there's some rock kind of influence in there in some ways. Some of the guitar playing that's on the album. But yeah, Roy Ayers is a vibraphone player at heart. So a lot of the vibraphone solos are. And there's this one. I'm not sure what track it's on. It might be I Am Your Mind. If I might be wrong about that, but where it's like this very kind of chaotic, syncopated like vibraphone solo, and he's following the notes he's playing with the vocals where he's going do 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 do. It's, I don't know, that just really stood out to me one time. I just heard that and I'm like, wow, that's insane. Very unique album, very unique vibe to it. Also on the track Love from the Sun, which is just a great name in general, but there's like a breakdown where there's like a delay on the master, and it's really cool. That's just a really cool moment. Everything just kind of stops, and then the vocals along with the beat all just stretch out in the delay. Really cool. Next, kind of keeping on the soul train, with Mista, self-titled album. Now, this is more like R&B, 90s R&B. This is one of the 90s R&B artists that kind of also slipped through the cracks. Popularity never really caught on, but in my opinion, it's actually one of the strongest. It's very different from like Destiny's Child and other stuff like that. It's almost, the production's almost like proto trap. I mean, it's just like electronic drums and stuff, but a lot of the way the melodies and the drums kind of go with each other, it sounds very trap. And vocal performances are incredible. The lead female singer in particular, on the song I Think That I Should Be, really stood out to me. But everybody has an amazing voice in the group. It's too bad that was their only album and it never really caught on. I think their most popular is Blackberry Molasses, so if you've heard of them, that's probably the song that you heard. But they have a lot of great tracks on that album. I would go check it out. Next is an A$AP Rocky song, but it's one of the deep cuts from Testing, which I don't think he got enough credit for that album. I know that's been said before, but there's some really strong tracks on there, lots of great ideas. I think giving him a little time to kind of develop it, which we can already see with like Sundress. I like where A$AP Rocky's going. I also like the Clam Casino era. I'm kind of sad that that's kind of fading out, but I like where he's going, definitely. But the song Kids Turned Out Fine from Testing, indie style guitar production, kind of reminds me of something Good Morning would do, if you know them. The one song in particular, You, by Good Morning, is very reminiscent of that, with trap drums over it, which was kind of cool. I thought a little bit of like a juxtaposition, kind of contrast kind of thing. The music video as well for that song, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's the filming, the way it all like looks like one take, really cool. And I think that's one thing that A$AP Rocky's been killing too. He's the best visuals in his music videos out of any like rappers doing anything today. I think he's unrivaled with that. Last on the list, we have a solo piano performance by the Sun Ra, again, from January 25th, 1980. The one song in particular that really stood out that he played was Love in Outer Space. It starts out very tight, smooth playing, but he's keeping it very true to the song, and then it just dissolves into chaos where he's like bunch of low notes, bunch of really high notes. He's just like absolutely destroying this Rhodes piano, and then he brings it back so masterfully. Yeah, if you like solo piano stuff, it's a solo Rhodes piano concert by the Sun Ra. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this list. If you like these videos, let me know. I'll keep doing them. I'm gonna do some album reviews at some point as well. I want to spend a little bit more time on those, maybe very in-depth, and probably go through every single track, break everything down. I'm not gonna play any of the songs because I don't want to get copyright claimed. Links to all the songs will be in the description, as well as a link to my new project. I would really appreciate if you check that out. I hope you have a great day. Peace.